Corporal Miles Henley wasn't expecting the universe to fall on his head that morning. He just wanted a quiet patrol. While the rest of his squad returned to base for system recalibrations, Miles stayed back, half to collect one last scan reading, half because he enjoyed the quiet of Guard Rack 9's alien wind. Sometimes peace is louder than orders. That day, the sand whispered and scratched against his visor. Wind dry and sharp like steel wool. Navigation readouts dim, signal strength flickering. And then, a sound. Soft. A yip. Then another. Two shapes peeked from behind a bent ventilation pipe. Odd little creatures no bigger than cybercats. Their eyes shimmered like cracked crystal, backs rippling with feather-like scales, tails coiled in perfect infinity loops. They twitched, staring in silence. They were starving. "Not again," Miles groaned. The last time he fed alien creatures, he accidentally started a toxic pollen mating riot that liquefied half a research lab. But still, he sighed, dug into his ration pouch, and tore the last half of his protein loaf in two, tossed it their way. At first they hesitated. Then, in a blur of limbs and chirps, they devoured it with gleeful, savage joy. If you explode, sprout wings, or form a death cult, this never happened. The entire atmosphere shuddered, as if someone flipped a gravitational switch. Then came the shadows, giant ones, thousands of them. Black and gold monoliths blotted out the stars, descending one by one, a collective oath of dominance carved in metal. The Zenturi Imperium. Command. Miles tapped his comlink. We've got something. Static. Figures emerged from the stratosphere, sleek ships descending like silver daggers. Sandstorms fled their presence. The world held its breath. The loading ramp unfolded in ritual grace. Armored Zenturi warriors stepped out in flawless formation, and at their center, a being who made the air feel thinner with each step. Emperor Zale Orin. "Child of Earth," the Emperor's voice cut through the heat like song. "You have performed a sacred act of compassion." Miles blinks. "I gave your pets a snack." "They are not pets," the Emperor said, eyes narrowing with gravity. "They are my offspring." "Wait, offspring as in your actual children?" "Correct." "These tiny space dogs are royal kids?" "Heirs, to be precise. Born of a sacred clutch. Lost during our diplomacy ritual. Presumed dead. And now, rescued by a lone Terran with no motive but kindness." One of the little creatures curls around his boot, purring like smooth static. That's when the drones appear. Two elegant machines materialize beside him and, without warning, accelerate into action. Light coils whip around Miles. Whoa, hey! Who invited the wardrobe malfunction brigade?" Pieces of his armor vanish into shimmering data streams, compressed into a cube the size of a grapefruit. "This process is called the disrobing of truth," the Emperor explains serenely. "To shed one's war skin is to unveil the soul within." "My soul is very cold right now." When the light cleared, Miles stood in a floating sash that could best be described as if confusion and embarrassment had a baby made of fabric. "For your act of unsought nobility, the Imperium grants you 3 honors. Can I just get pants?" "First," the Emperor continued, "you are now officially kin to our royal lineage." The two feathery creatures yawped and pounced up his shoulders, clinging to him like glowing scaled koalas. "Second, select any vessel from the Imperial fleet. A command cruiser, perhaps a leisure yacht, or both." "Both?" Miles echoed. "Third." The Emperor paused, then motioned for someone to step forward. She moved like fog rolling across starlight. "This is Princess Tila," the Emperor said, "caretaker of the sacred clutch. She wishes to join you, if you consent." Tila stepped close, skin glowing silver blue, her fingers tipped like comet trails. "You smell like kindness and earth spice," she said. "I like that." Miles was still mentally rebooting. "This is what I get for feeding strays." "Many sacred legends begin with a loaf of bread," the Emperor replied thoughtfully. By the time it ended, Miles had been named High Guardian of the Glimmering Clutch. He now wore a full ceremonial wardrobe, no longer just modest, but majestic. Tyla leaned in, sipping from a drink that pulsed with light. "Do humans often rescue nobility with snacks?" "Nah," Miles shrugged. "Sometimes we just feed strays." She tilted her head. "You fed me too." "Wait, what?" She smiled gently. "I let them escape. I wanted to see if any creature out there would give without knowing who was watching. And now I've chosen. You belong to us." Miles exhaled, gaze drifting toward the shimmer of his distant human base. "How exactly do you report back after this? Mission status, fed 2 alien strays, appointed galactic royalty, gained 2 interstellar dependents, disrobed in front of 7,000 ships. Possibly engaged?" He groaned. "Can I please get some pants?" Tyla smiled. "You can, but first breakfast. Our children get grumpy." The 2 royal creatures chirped in unison and began chewing on his hair. Miles sighed. Sometimes, a small act of kindness echoes louder than a battle. Sometimes, it makes you family. And sometimes, it gets you a crown, a starship, and 2 glowing gremlins who think your kneecaps are toys. Corporal Miles Henley just wanted a quiet morning. Instead, he became legend.